Hello, Nyonjo, and welcome. And we are live with Panya today. So today I'm coming on live to talk to you guys about the journey of and to endless possibilities. Today I get to share my journey and along with a very special guest today, her journey of endless possibilities and how we're taking it and making it flexible for our life and our family. Today I am streaming live from Minnesota. We are flexible because we are doing it from my car because we're watching airplanes take off and land and something that the kids get to experience today. And today is a very special day because we're celebrating our youngest's birthday as well. So happy birthday to him. Well, today, thanks for being here. Would you be willing to introduce yourself and where you are streaming from?
Well, hello, it's an honor to be here and a pleasure. And I'm so glad that it's flexible to where you're watching airplanes fly. My name is Tay, and I am a business coach in this business. And I am streaming from Arizona at the moment, anyways.
Yes, at the moment, anyway. Thank you for being here. All right, so to start off our podcast, my first question for you is your journey of stumbling across upon our business. How did it come about? And can you share a little bit with our audience why you decided to go into our business?
My journey of finding this business, it really wasn't stumbling. It was when I truly asked for it because I was tired. I was tired of you know, waking up to that early alarm clock where it's too early and then I would get home late at night when it's dark already in the winter time. So it wasn't a stumble. It was what I found when I really truly asked for it and prayed for something that could change my life, right? And so when I found this business, it was not it was scary, but it was not it didn't take me too long to think of taking that first step. I actually just did it without even thinking and then thought about it afterwards. I was scared afterwards, like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Why did I just do that? Because it's online, right? And we're all scared of the online presence and like the scams and stuff. But I can tell you that now that I'm on the inside, it's not a scam. I'm glad that my heart or my you can say guiding angels didn't take me to that route. It took me to something that was meaningful and purposeful. So that helped me change my life. Yeah. So that's how I found this business when I asked for it clearly.
Amazing, amazing. Yes. Didn't stumble, you found it because you asked for it. And you ask and you shall receive, right? Like we always say, ask for it and you shall receive eventually, right? With that being said, you talked a little about, shared a little bit about it being special or uh, growing with it, right? So going to our next question, endless possibilities. What is one takeaway that you can share with our audience that you found so beneficial of our online business that you can share with them today?
Mm, endless possibility. Well, one thing, well, there's a lot of things, but okay, so I want to share something a little personal today, but it's not to impress you and it's not to remind, but it's to remind you that it's okay to want more, okay? It's okay to want more time, more presence, more peace, and more freedom, and to give yourself permission to go looking for it. Because if you don't give yourself permission, then you're not ever going to find it. Okay. And for me, for the longest time, I truly believe that if I just worked hard enough and I just stayed loyal enough to the job that I was working at, and I kept pushing and I just kept putting my family off and just gave all my time to my job, life would eventually reward me, and that I would be rewarded with money, be able to save. But I just the debt and the paycheck to paycheck just mounted up, and I did all of that, the hard work, being loyal, the staying, almost giving over a decade of my life to a job. Did all that. I worked. I gave up time. I sacrificed moments, and I told myself it was all for my family, all for my family. It really was. I did really say that everything I did was so that I can have money and options and choices to give my boss a better life. And then one day I looked up and I realized I was so focused on trying to give my boss a better life and a better future that I wasn't present. And when it took him to actually tell me, for me to realize, and I always thought I was doing the right thing, okay, but I was constantly tired. I was stretched thin and emotionally unavailable. And the hardest part, let me tell you, even though I tried so hard to create a safe space for my boss, I knew deep down that he didn't know how to tell me what he was feeling, and that he missed me. He said it in other ways than that he needed more of me, and not just more of what I could provide for him. And I thought I could just provide, right? And that broke my heart. It broke me a lot actually. I still think about it when I talk about it nowadays. I still feel really sad about it, but that's what helped me. And that's because I realized I was unintentionally repeating the very cycle I promised myself that I wouldn't be repeating, and I would break. Because I have, long story short, but we all come from humble backgrounds, and that moment shift everything for me, and it helped me make a decision. Okay, so when I started this business, I decided to make that decision, that the cycle of exhaustion, emotionally distance, and trading time for money will end with me. And that's where the healing begins. Okay, because the biggest takeaway, you told me the biggest one takeaway, right? You asked me that question, and the biggest for me was when I started to heal, right? When I started to heal from the inside out. Because if you don't heal, you're not going to be able to provide for your kids the way that you should be present, right? Having the freedom, having the choices. Because when you work day in, day out, and you trade time for money working on somebody else's dreams, you forget that you leave your kids out. And then the legacy shifts. And let me be honest, it wasn't overnight. Okay, it did not change overnight, and nothing great happens overnight. But I stopped waiting for the perfect time. I stopped waiting to feel fully ready. Okay, so my biggest takeaway was healing and seeing that I don't have to wait. I can start and I can take action. So my biggest takeaway was healing.
Well, thank you for sharing that very personal story with us, with me and our audience today. Yes, that is something that most of us can't find within ourselves unless we really take the time to reflect on our own or look at things from a different perspective. And that is truly a story that I get to witness and see every day and hear from you and other business partners in our global community, and that we all get to grow. That's one thing that I love about our business as well, is that we get to find ourselves personally on a personal level, and on the top of that, we get to grow as a professional um, business owner along the way of our journey. And I found that success doesn't come alone, because you get to grow with others and you get to build your own journey with others' supports. And that's the one thing that I love about our business as well, is that, it's it's endless. Because like you said, if you let us talk about it all day, we will probably be here all day, and everything in between. And and like we shared today, the endless of possibility that comes in all shapes and forms, the flexibility of our business, the online, the portability, and everything that we want to talk about. But we'll keep it short today and just focus on the endless possibilities of today. Because if you're willing to focus on your own self, on healing and finding yourself and making a change, a legacy for your kids, then it starts within yourself. Like I always say to all my kids, not all my kids, but some of my kids, is that at the end of the day, it ends up being us, because your actions makes it um your action relies on you, on the things that you do in life. So it shapes you to be who you are. And eventually, like they always say, you may not know who you are today, but eventually in the long run you will, because it takes time. We're always growing, we're always learning, and it's always going to be there for us, especially the online world. We know that that's never going to change. It's always going to grow, and it's going to grow. So we either go with it or we sit behind and we watch others go. So with that being said, if you guys love, not love, but if you guys have any additional questions and I would love to know more, drop a comment below or message us, and we will love to help guide you in any way that we can. All right, and say before we sign off, is there anything you would like to share with the audience before we go?
Yes, I want to touch on endless possibilities, because when you finally achieve endless possibility, you'll know that you're not just surviving anymore. And you know that you're intentionally building a life filled with freedom, joy, and presence and purpose for your children, in a life that you hope your children will grow up knowing that they can too choose, and not hustle, not burn out, not be absence wrapped up in good intentions, right? But wholeness and balance and clarity and connection. Okay. So if you're feeling stuck and you've done everything right and you still feel like there's something missing, like Pina says, do it for yourself, right? You have to, and again, like I always say, give yourself permission, and you're not stuck. You just need to make a decision, and you just need to take it into action and move in the direction that you want to go in. Because this isn't about having all the answers, okay? Let me just tell you guys that. It's just about being open to something different and something that honors your family value, your value, and your time and your heart. Because most importantly, health is important, right? And so, honestly, if you're curious and want to learn more, or are open to learning more, definitely reach out to us, drop it in the comments, and we'd be happy to answer, because there's no pressure, no pushing, just possibilities, endless possibilities, because it could happen for anyone who's open and who truly desires change and want to rewrite their story, and who's tired of being stretched thin, right? And doing your best to make things work, and just losing time, because time is so short. And if you don't make it happen, and you don't choose to change, you change nothing, nothing changes. So that's what I wanted to add.
Thank you. That is true. You want to change? Be the one to make that change. All right. So with that being said, before we sign off, I just want to say thank you to our audience for tuning in live or catching the replay later. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Drop a comment below, and we will catch you guys next time. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye bye.